I wanted to go ahead and do an explanation video on what I believe to be the reason why the ECAs were made mid as possible. After all, it seems to be weird that in this current celebration, where in previous celebrations, we've had it so that way the ECA characters have been usually on the case of being on the same level, or being at least good supplemental team characters for the anniversary characters from the ninth, usually like STRUI Goku, like the Fire God, and SSB Vegeta. It seems that for some reason this anniversary has a tendency of making it so that all the superclass heroes have now been very, very, very bad, but the extreme characters have been very good. And so I was sitting in the shower one day when I realized exactly why that might be the case, as I kind of gave myself some thought process. It only started to click after we got the part 2 reveals for the anniversary. And I'm going to explain to you why exactly the part 2 reveal dramatically affects why these three pretty much were made mid as possible. And I I'm hoping I'm gonna be 100% honest with y'all. I'm hoping to be wrong. I'm genuinely hoping to be wrong, but I want to put this idea in the air because that way it will be at least some comfort for people who may not enjoy the fact that their favorite character like Namek Goku or like the first anniversary Gogeta and Vegito were shafted. So to basically boil down what I'm thinking is the very fact that we never predicted or believed that that there would be a Frieza Final Form Angel and Goku tag switch character. None of us really ever had that crossed in mind or had that thought be bared in our mind. And when you make that revelation that essentially with a Frieza Final Form and Angel and Goku tag switch, both characters will have all the categories that each character is associated with. And that's very important because Frieza is technically on Earth, technically on successors, but he is, because of Goku, he is on Vegito's leader skill. And as soon as you give a context as to what exactly the Dokkan devs are probably doing, is that they're trying to maximize profit by making it so that you would need to summon all six characters to essentially run like what would be known as like probably like the god team of this anniversary. This would make it so then there's now an explanation reason as to why the EZAs are mid, because they never had to do the case where previous anniversaries we had four characters, and then most of the time maybe it was like two or three at most were synergizable on the team. Now, all six characters could be easily argued to be available on the Earth Protecting Heroes. Gohan is on that. Vegeta is on Successor, but he's also on Pure Saiyan, and he's gonna be on, and then also he's gonna be on Earth Protecting Heroes because of Gogeta, and Frieza and Goku are gonna be on there because of Pure Saiyans. So why would they optimize the EZAs to be essentially available? Because the EZA's points were that they were filling up slots for the new anniversary characters. But now that they're releasing six LRs for the anniversary, you can just run the God team, clear content, and win the game. It's even more recognizable to me now because I've just remembered that Vegeta's condition is that there just has to be a Universal Survival Saga category ally on the team, which means that you can just essentially slot one, get this Frieza, get this Goku. There could possibly be a slot one option that Goku, that Frieza, not Frieza or Goku, what Vegeta needs. And if that's the case, this now explains a lot more of why they make this character bad, or in this case, why this character is predominantly a slot two character. If Frieza and Goku are going to be the slot one representation, but that also kind of explains why this team is more focused on synergizing, because essentially, what was it? It was who was it? Goku support for characters who are, I think it's for Power Beyond Super Saiyan or Great Ape, and he gives a 70% defense increase and a 10% damage reduction. And then right now we're going to see that essentially almost two characters on this team is going to have that support and be able to be run on it. It's why I also believe that Gogeta may have the same thing where you can run all the 6th anniversary LRs on his team, and basically it's Dokkan developers saying like, hey, you want to run essentially the greatest team ever, run all six of them on the same team and give us more money. So this was probably deliberately done to make the EZAs more underwhelming, because then they'll have it so that way you're more incentivized to spend money to get all, well, obviously all six characters. Because if they're all runnable on the same team, then what would be stopping you? But that also raises now the concern when it comes to uh where is it? Well, let me go ahead and pull it up on here. If I can go, if I'm able to. Let me see. Do they have the updated graphic? Yep, there. So my biggest concern now then becomes what will happen to the Saiyan Saga units and the 7th anniversary LRs. If Dokkan mostly does those EZAs in order to help boost the team that usually the characters are running. After all, like for Beast Gohan's team for 9th anniversary, UI Goku and AG and SSBE Vegeta were on the team. Same thing with the 8th anniversary where they had power wishes, but one of the characters led Final Trump card where you could run both Vegito and the Gogeta EZAs for the 5th annie. So there's good, but now that since we have 6 characters that can all be run on the same team, my I now have a concern, and now there's a big now great chance to worry about the idea of the fact that they might make their easy underwhelming because they're gonna be like, hey, we're gonna still make you incentivized to summon, which it's it's weird to even like I don't. I'm hoping I'm generally being wrong with this because it doesn't make any sense to have this guy on the banner for I'm pretty sure he's on the banner for Vegito. Either he's not. If he's not, then that means that Frieza's on. I don't think I saw Frieza though on the Vegito banner. If you want to come, directly tell me if I'm wrong or not. Let me know in the comments. Like my mind is, it's still like way too late at the late. Anyway, my biggest concern is the fact that even then, like you would think that if you were gonna make it so that way the EZAs are gonna be summonable and make it so they're good, you would make it good, make those EZAs good. New players come in, they spend money. So it doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you make it so that these EZAs are bad if you want them people to chase after the new characters? It feels like you kind of want to make it so that way. Well, I say that right now, but now I'm thinking about it. If they make it so that new characters are all good, make it so that all the EZAs or the anniversaries are a bit more midder, you would still be trying to chase in that banner. So I think I just answered my own question. It would because then like even though you would get essentially a mid EZA, they're still at least tiny bit viable. Make it so you could run in content, but then you would also then would still want to chase for the new anniversary LRs. I'm My opinion so far when it comes to this anniversary so far has been like their choices of what they're doing for making characters good again and then making it so the new characters are has not it like the characters are hype, but they're not designing them in a way that it's like they're having a seventh anniversary issue where they're going back and making so that all the characters are going to be probably like, are bad in the new content, but then make it so that it can only be handled by like the new anniversary characters. And I don't think that's what I don't like that approach that Dokkan's doing with it. They're obviously not doing it with the villains because I'm assuming that they want to make it so that way villains tend to have like a better representation. They've noticed that villains have like less, like team runs compared to like pure Saiyans. Characters who are super class, they appear in multiple arcs. Villains don't, so that's why they're obviously blustering up, boostering characters when it comes to their teams, making them viable for the current year. But I don't think, in my personal choice, that I would prefer to have it that way. But that's my idea on it. Oh, later on there will be a video, obviously, from me going over the part one of anniversary for Dokkan. For this 10th anniversary, part 2 and part 3 individually, and then we'll do a combined list where we'll talk about how this anniversary's been and how it is. But I think them fumbling like this is not a good approach. Considering this Gogeta right here, Gogeta, it was basically like the hypest character for a lot of people who played during the first anniversary. So for them to be able to like had a good super EZA that would then be able to like he didn't have to be dominant as Vegito, but he could have been like Gogeta could have been on the level of what I think would have been Tech Broly. I think it's possible. He didn't have to be a case where he's specifically only good in against extreme class enemies or villains. In the same way, like I think like there's it's weird that Dokkan doesn't give a chance to respect characters who they believe were like essentially iconic legacies of the game and kind of chooses to treat them like utter nonsense in order to have you guys spend more money. Because anyway, it's kind of like a disrespect to the fans, and if you disrespect the fans, you're gonna end up just losing. people again. And I don't know how much Dokkan, uh, when it comes to their growing fan base, I don't know how much Dokkan attracts to like new people because I don't know if how many people essentially come back for that comeback return campaign that they do for the 10th anniversary. I'm wondering how many people then, with that comeback return, immediately leave right after. I'm wondering if there's any data on that. I'm hoping to see if any of those anyone in the Dokkan community would be able to help me plug me up with those information and data. I'll be very happy to do so. But yeah, I'm trying to keep this short and simple. I probably did not keep it short and simple, but that's essentially what my thoughts are on when it comes to why exactly I think the anniversary LRs are essentially going to be all run on the same team, and they're making it so that the EZAs, since they don't need to act as support, are being more mid in comparison. Additionally, we already know that content is going to get harder. We saw it with the Golden Frieza event. I I'm not enjoying this what they're doing right now. Hopefully, and we should hopefully have let's cross our fingers to hope that the 7th anniversary LRs are good and the Saiyan Saga LRs are good. All right, I think that's all from my end. Thank you all for listening. If you want to subscribe, go ahead and subscribe. Let me know what you want in the comments, and I'll see y'all later.